Okay, so this is the issue I'm having. Basically, I'm getting the black flickering screen, which happens intermittently. It's random, so sometimes it stays like this for a long time before going black. Other times it does it in rapid succession. But usually I can trigger it by moving around some windows. There we go. So yeah, it flickers to black for a brief second before coming back. Sometimes when I move the windows around, it does that. And I've seen it do that basically, but in brief, like rapid succession. Now this happens when I have AMD FreeSync disabled, but enabled in the TV settings. Color depth is set to 10, that's the pixel format. So these are my display options settings I've enabled. Now the black flickering only happens when this is disabled. If I show you my Game Optimiser screen on my LG TV, you can see here, that's what it's currently picking up, but that does change when the black flickering occurs. So if I minimize this and do what I was doing before, so you can see there, did you see that? It briefly picked up a FreeSync premium signal, just like there again, even though it's disabled in the settings. And it also changes the frame rate as well. And I can also feel it as well. So when that happens, I can feel the stuttering, the screen stuttering as I move things around like this. And when the black flickering happens, it's quite extreme. Let me just see if I can trigger it again. The black, there you go. So yeah, so you saw that it picked up the FreeSync premium signal, and then the frame rate dropped to like 106 there. But I'm sure that's probably changing more rapidly in the background. So if I re-enable FreeSync Premium, you can see that the TV is picking it up as a solid signal, and then I don't get the black screen flickering issue. I don't get that at all. What I do get instead, though, is some stuttering across the desktop. So when I move the windows left to right, it's a little bit hard to see on the footage, but sometimes it moves smoothly across at 120 frames. Other times it will stutter as if like lagging for some reason. Now there seems to be something in relation to like web-based apps on the desktop. So my browser, for example, but also other apps like Discord, ChatGPT, they all use like a WebSocket interface. And they're all hardware accelerated apps on the GPU. So this problem really seems to pop up as soon as I open up one of those types of apps on my Windows computer. If I turn off the FreeSync Premium, so again, just flickered there, as you saw. If I close all the web browsers and all the web-based apps, so now I've just got the File Explorer and AMD window open, like so. So if I move these around, not only does it feel smooth, but there's also no flickering that occurs, as you saw earlier. So if I try another window here, and just switch between the two, and just kind of move them about a little bit, you can see the same problem doesn't crop up. And this also this is also the same for the games that I've tested so far as well. So for example, this game here that I can load up. Okay. And then if I move this around, as you can see there, if I move these windows too, there doesn't seem to be any black flickering, and I've tested this for a couple of minutes doing this sort of thing, and there is no black flickering of any kind that happens when it's non-web based apps. So it seems to be an issue narrowed down to things like the web browser, Discord, those kinds of apps which use a WebSocket layer. That's hardware accelerated. But even when I've disabled the hardware accelerating, it still has the same black flickering problem. So I don't think it's purely that's the reason, but there is something to do with these apps which cause a problem with the with the FreeSync. So yeah, when with other apps, I'm just showing you the interface here as well. So when I switch between the two, like File Explorer windows, the AMD window, the game window here. So when I switch between these, as you can see, there is no change. There is no confusion to the signal being detected by my TV there. So 120 frames per second, VRR off, which is the case in the settings here, as you can see there. So it's disabled. So again, these windows have no issues with the signal. It just seems to be as soon as I open up a web-based app like this, again, as you just saw there, as you literally just see there, as it's happening now, it's switching between FreeSync and VRR. And this isn't, again, this is not just solely related to Edge, like this particular app. It is with any one of the web-based apps. So this would be like ChatGPT. Again, as you can see, it does the same thing there. But yeah, basically, any apps that are web-based in their nature seem to have this problem. So yeah, hopefully this helps.